Hey, MYePEAK here again to talk about the best anti-inflammatory diet, anti-inflammatory foods. Stick around. If you looked at the inflammation process, like could they find that if they want to learn about the inflammation a little bit more?
Well, they would click to the link that you see attached to this one here because, frankly, that is the best video on YouTube, just bar none.
Bar none.
Yes, but definitely on inflammation as well.
It got a MYePEAK 5-star rating.
Yes, we are not biased at all.
No,
because we had our wives actually star it, and they're not biased either.
They're not biased.
No.
We have created our own awards ceremony as well.
We both on our honey-do list, so we're in good graces right now.
That's right, exactly.
But so if you really want to understand what inflammation is, because inflammation is simply your body's response to an injury, is what inflammation is. And as we talked about in that video, it can be a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing is when we get into chronic inflammation.
Right, and chronic every time. Right?
Every disease process, and the word every fit in there.
Yeah.
Every disease process is a chronic inflammatory process.
Yep.
And so we then ask the question, well, how can I control this at all? Or is it just doom and gloom and I'm doomed for disease instead of health?
Yep.
And the answer is you have some control over it. In the easiest way, the most direct way, and probably the most effective way is nutrition.
Nutrition. So when we talk about controlling things, this is where your perspective of holistic and your brain needs to change a little bit. So when somebody has a holistic mindset, you're going after the why. So what caused the inflammation, you'll see in the other video, is interference, right? Interference to something is causing this motor to keep running when it shouldn't be running. It was like a sub pump running for 24 hours when it's not supposed to run that much. What happens is the body starts feeling those effects. So that's where one of the things you can look at right away is what you put in your mouth, right? Yeah. So is those things causing some kind of issue? So then when you evaluate that, that's where you can start.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's a really, really smart and just wise way to start that process.
He called me wise. He did. He did.
Crap.
That's awesome.
Can't take it back now. It's on video. It's here forever.
That's right.
But so when we talk about it, we look and say, what are anti? Anti is a good thing in this sense because anti means not inflamed. Anti-inflammatory foods, and it's frankly you're not going to be shocked by this statement. It's hey, green leafy vegetables. Hey, it's lean proteins. Hey, it's good healthy fats. The avocados, the coconut oils, the olive oils. Those are all good anti-inflammatory things. The reality is it's not limited to that. There's actually some wonderful things, and you'll see attached in our comments this exact sheet, and you're going to see a list of anti-inflammatory foods. And no offense, we think our viewership is the smartest people in the history of the world because you're watching our videos.
That's right.
But we want to make it as easy as possible for you. And I keep uncovering my mouth because I realize that's distracting.
That's right.
But here's a real simple thing. You see this? It says eat as much as you like.
Yes.
So just eat as much as you like of these.
Yeah.
Now, you really want to make it easy? That sheet, flip it over, kiddos. And you're going to see inflammatory foods. And we're going to talk more about this in a video attached to this one. You'll see it in just a moment here. But you're going to see try to avoid.
Right.
Now, in the words of Yoda, we didn't say do or do not. We said try.
And that's one of the big things.
We're going against Yoda's wisdom.
I know, exactly.
Is that safe to go against Yoda's wisdom?
Yeah, it never is, actually.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do. Or do not. There is no try.
Yeah, but that's the hard part of Yoda.
That's our wheelhouse. But the hard part is he's not real.
Exactly.
So I'm okay to go against his wisdom. But that's so we're just trying to avoid. And so what we mean by that is okay, well, how do we get started? If we know that these foods, these inflammatory foods are going to make us ache, and these anti-inflammatory foods are going to make it less likely that we ache.
Right.
What do? Well, you look at a sheet like this and you say, hey, eat as much as you like, and you look down and you go, what do I like on here?
Right, exactly.
There's foods on here you like that you don't eat that often.
Exactly.
And to go, you know what? I'm going to eat that more often. And just case in point, you look down and you go, I like chickpeas. Maybe I'm going to start making my own hummus.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Right.
Just as an example. But you're going to find things on here that you like. eat these more often. That's how you start. It
Yeah.
doesn't require you to say, I will never touch
Correct.
inflammatory foods. I'll only touch anti-inflammatory. You are doomed for failure.
Correct.
We don't want you to fail.
Right, and that's the biggest thing is like think of percentage improvement per day, because once some of the inflammatory foods you'll see are stuff you're going, man, I don't want to go without that per se, right? So in your brain right now you're saying that. Now if you start slowly doing the process, you're building the right road for you.
Creating a new
and
habit.
so yeah, you're creating a new habit. So the only way to do that is to start something small, I think, and just direct it. Okay, I'm gonna buy a bunch of chickpeas and we're gonna make a bunch of hummus. Whatever that is, at least it's a start in that right direction.
Yep.
And it will change things that you're putting in your mouth. That could be understanding why the inflammation process happens too. You're taking something that could have potentially caused the inflammation to happen and replacing it with something that won't do that. And that's a big deal. So that'll help out quite a bit.
And just another point, as you look at this list too, is there's going to be things on here you hate.
Yeah.
Rutabaga is on here.
That's good. I like that.
Oh, I mean, rutabaga is on here is what I meant to say. But if there's something you don't like, don't eat it. Just eat something else on
Yeah,
here. So
we're not force feeding you into
yeah,
this,
just eat something. So it's really that simple. But if you're going to understand this side of the coin of the foods you should try to consume just a little bit more, you got to understand this. And that's what our next video is going to be about. Is we're going to talk about these inflammatory foods. Hint. There are a lot of things that you probably eat every single day.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to ruin your day, but let's start to make a shift, start to make some changes, and we'll talk more about that.
And it's all about the understanding. It's not about the major shift of movement where you're saying, okay, I'm going to denounce all, right? We're going
Denounce all.
We're going to denounce it and then go on. The next one will show you like how the process works. If we can get away from certain ones, then things start changing, and it's you that's changing it, which is really awesome in the whole process. So
Take control of your health.
that's right. See you in the next video.